What childhood game turned out to be something much darker? In the village where I grew up, families without kids could borrow children from relatives, sometimes for months. My parents called it charity. We're helping those who can't have their own, they'd say. But they didn't tell me the truth. Borrowed kids don't get protection. Or justice. I was just 4 the first time. Sent to live with Aunt Fatma, who'd been trying to have a baby for 10 years. She called me Amira and made me drink some bitter herbal mix with cow dung every morning. It helps with fertility, she'd smile. I remember crying into my pillow, whispering my real name to myself so I wouldn't forget who I was. By the time I was 7, I'd already learned the preferences of different families. The Rashids made me sleep in their dead son's bed unwashed for years, wearing his old clothes. I was there for his death anniversary, where I'd eat his favorite meal at his grave. Pretending to be him. Mrs. Rashid would grab my face and sob, calling me Ahmed. I'd whisper, I love you, mama, or else she'd scream like I'd hurt her. But the Nuz were the worst. They believed kids without permanent homes were spiritually pure, untainted by family sin. Every full moon, they'd draw my blood. Just a little, they said, for blessings. They'd mix it into their garden soil to grow fertility. Other families started requesting me specifically because I was lucky. Translation? I was still alive after all those loans. I never had real friends. Anytime I started bonding with another lone child, they'd vanish. Then I found out why. At the Ammar's house, I discovered a hidden diary stuffed inside a hollowed-out Quran. It belonged to Salma, age 15. She'd written everything, how Mr. Ammar kept checking her body to see if she was becoming a woman. How they planned to marry her off to their disabled adult son. Because lone girls didn't have anyone to object. No one would check on them. The last page broke me. They come for me tomorrow. If anyone finds this, I was somebody's daughter once too. That's when I realized I was on borrowed time. So I started building something. In every home I was placed in, I offered to help with electronics. They'd smile and praise me, so helpful with modern stuff. They had no idea I was building small radio transmitters using spare parts from the local bazaar. I hid them in old radios, TVs, computers, tuned to the same secret frequency. Then I taught other borrowed kids how to use it. During afternoon prayers, when the mosque speakers were loud enough to cover background noise, we'd broadcast messages, short bursts in children's voices. The Mahmoods are filing adoption papers. The Kalig's girl has bruises shaped like fingers. Amina's been missing for 2 weeks. Sometimes we'd hear a new voice join small scared. This is Sarah. I'm 8. Please, someone remember my name. We hid radios at the market and tuned them to our signal. Kids would hear soft whispers between cartoon songs. Even the housemaids started catching fragments while cleaning. Slowly, the whole village was eavesdropping on us without even knowing. By age 15, I lived with 20 families. My body was a map of their cruelty. Scars from the Rashids' rituals. Burns from the Hassans testing if I had the evil eye. A nervous twitch from the Ibrahims, who used me to try out anxiety meds. My parents called me resilient. Raised their price for me. Premium quality, they told neighbors. Then the Mahmoods took me at 16. But they had a different use. Their daughter needed a kidney. Better to take one from a borrowed child, right? We've done it before, they said. The surgery was scheduled for the harvest festival. Everyone would be too distracted by fireworks to hear anything happening in the basement. They'd already paid my parents for a full year, plus a bonus for medical needs. The papers were signed. My fate sealed. But we were ready. That night, as the Mahmoods prepared their tools, every single electronic device in the village turned on at once. Radios, TVs, computers, 53 total, started playing the same broadcast. Not our usual code. Full recordings. 3 years worth of proof. The Imam, caught on tape, bargaining for silence. The Yusufs discussing which poisons to test next. The Ammars talking casually about what they did with Salma's body. But the biggest shock? My parents. Every deal they'd made. Every price they'd negotiated. Every time they laughed about how long I'd survive. She's tough, my mother said in one clip. She'll probably last till 18 if we're careful. Her voice filled the air. The same voice that used to sing me lullabies. People poured into the village square, no longer celebrating. Just staring in horror as the voices of their neighbors and their own guilt played from every speaker. And for the first time in years, we were finally heard.